welcome to another one of Mark's Whisky Ramblings. Tonight, the Bowmore Devil's Casks. Sorry about that. Anyway, so yes indeed, the Bowmore Devil's Casks, which is a sherry matured Bowmore, just to skip the rather awkward intro. It's a 10-year-old sherry matured. It's almost empty, so I thought, oh, quick, make a little whiskey rambling, because this is a very popular whiskey indeed. In fact, when I first heard about the Bowmore Devil's Casks, my original thought was, well, that's not a very original name now, is it? I mean, they've been beaten to it by Aran twice. Devil Punch Bowl, anyone? So I thought, not a very interesting name, but is it an interesting whiskey? Well, apparently it is, because it was very, very popular. How should I put this? Maybe I should say it was very hyped, because it sold out, well, almost before it hit the shelves. I mean, 6,000 bottles were produced of this 10-year-old that matured solely on first fill sherry casks. 6,000 bottles, of which only 540 went to the domestic market in the United Kingdom, Scotland, England, and you know, and only 48 bottles. 48 bottles came to Belgium. What is that? 48 bottles. Do you know how many Bowmore lovers there are in Belgium? Anyway, I was lucky enough to get one of these. They were originally sold for around 70, 75 euros, which seems a bit fair in my opinion, because after all it is first fill sherry casks. Even though it's only a 10-year-old, it is bottled at cask strength. So a young feisty Bowmore and sherry casks, 75 euros seems like a fair price. But now on EvoBay and on other whiskey auction sites, you can find this bottle for 200. I've even seen it going for 320 pounds. What is that all about? That's crazy. 320 pounds for a 10-year-old whiskey? Come on, give me a break. Now, not to worry. I have it on good authority that a second batch is underway. So stop spending these crazy amounts of money on this little bottle. It is sold out, it is true, but a new batch is already underway. So, I just wanted to clear that up. It does make you wonder where the other bottles went, you know, doesn't it? I mean, it's like only 10% stayed in the UK and Belgium. Where do all the other bottles go? I presume the Far East. I presume the United States. I presume the moon. But certainly not my neck of the woods. Which is a bit of a pity, because it really is a rather interesting whiskey, as you are about to find out. I know this already, as you can see. So, it is bottled at a cask strength of 56.9% ABV. It is a young Bowmore, 10 years old, matured solely on sherry casks, first fill sherry casks. Alright. I'm not sure if you can see it, because the setting is a little darker than you are used to, of course, because I wanted to recreate this atmosphere for the Devil's Casks. But it is a nice bronze to almost Oloroso colour, which does not surprise first fill sherry casks. But it has a high viscosity, meaning it sticks to the glass and the tears come down very, very, very slowly in thick fat drops, meaning it's got a good body. Now let's see what this says on the nose. Now it is a nice, it's not a sherry bomb, not at all, because peat and sherry, in my opinion, is always, well, it's tricky business. It's kind of difficult. For me, it's difficult to appreciate the mix of peat and sherry, but in this case, in my opinion, this is a nice integrated mix of the sweet, you know, strawberry jam, cake, Christmas cake maybe. Even a touch of struck match. Not sulphur, not at all, not sulphur at all, but struck match. Which is kind of funny, because a struck match in Belgium, a match is called, in Flemish we call it a lucifer. Now lucifer is of course, okay, you know where this is going. On the other hand, there is sweet peat. Obviously, this is a young and feisty Bowmore. There is this sweet peat, but I also get some some diesel fumes, and even some tobacco leaves. I've got some leather on the one hand, some tar on the other. Some raisins, cinnamon. It becomes quite dark. You get hints of roasted nuts in there as well. Some salted caramel. This is quite impressive for a young whiskey, you know, to have this depth or this range of aromas already. I believe the correct word is complexity, while this one bursts with complexity, in my opinion. Very nice. All right. Oh, I forgot to tell you, it is quite creamy on the nose as well. On the palate then. Creamy as well, but immediately spicy. I get some nutmeg, I get some cloves, very spicy, and then the sweetness kicks in. Again, all the sweetness from the nose is there. I get some plum liqueur, some toffee apples. There is a bitter edge, like tea that has been in the glass too long before taking out the bag. You know what I mean? It's got this, so a bitter edge there. But I also get some syrupy, some orange peel, some quince maybe. This is very nice and very punchy as well. You even get some dark, some organic chocolate, like some South American chocolate with a very high content of cacao. Or is it cocoa in English? It's cocoa, isn't it? Never mind, we're talking about the Bowmore here. And mid-palate, towards the end, the medicinal touches shine through. I get some oyster sap maybe, but definitely some iodine. Oh, definitely, yeah. But it is very nice. It is well integrated, and the sweetness against the saltiness. There's not one flavor or not one aroma that is competing for supremacy. So it is very nice integrated mix, giving this Bowmore, even at this young age, a deceptively complex nature. This is devilishly good. Oh, poor wordplay. I know. The finish. Well, the finish is absolutely wonderful. It is long, it is warming, on licorice, but with a sturdy smokiness that fades very gently. This is a very satisfying Bowmore, and in that view, the name The Devil's Casks does give it that extra special edge, I must say. Now, I don't know if you remember the Bowmore Tempest, which was very popular upon its release as well. I've got the be still there. I've got the batch number 1 here, which was also very much hyped. This was like a Bowmore on bourbon casks, a Bowmore on steroids. You know, a big, salty but sweet Bowmore. Well, it's more or less the same with the Bowmore Devil's Casks. This matured for 10 years on bourbon casks. This matured for 10 years on first fill sherry casks. Well, I guess you could compare them. This is more or less the same type of whiskey, young but complex, well composed, let me put it that way. And in that regard, I do believe I detect the magical hands, or maybe I should say the magical nostrils of the master blender of Bowmore, the wonderful Rachel Barry. Hats off to you, Mrs. Barry. You have done a wonderful job with this Bowmore, the Devil's Casks. I'm very much looking forward to batch number 2, and hopefully that batch will in fact reach Belgium in larger numbers, because I've got people knocking on my door for a sample, and as you can see, my bottle is as good as gone. Please, not just for my friends, but also for me, please, we need more Bowmore Devil's Casks.